Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Hold on. We are now open for business. Guys, take a look at the clock. It's still ticking. 90 days, 7 hours, 19 minutes, and 12 seconds until we kick off against the Carolina Panthers for our season opener. And that clock seems like it's ticking really quick. I mean, here we went through another weekend without football. Come tomorrow, we've got our last 3 days, actually, our 3 days of minicamp. And that's it. It's hold your breath time for 5 weeks while the players are let out for summer until we get ready for the start of training camp. I'm excited, but realize that's not a lot of time left. 3 months, that's it. Now, we're still working on the team that we will have on the field. We have a lot of faces and bodies that are there now that won't be. We may have some that will be coming that aren't there now. So we don't know exactly what this final roster will be and if Earl Thomas will be part of it. And I know you guys have had Earl Thomas fatigue out there, so I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about him. I talked plenty yesterday about Earl Thomas and so on. But I'm going to say this much. The Cowboys in Seattle, April 27th at the draft, the number dropped from a 1 to a 2. And I believe the Dallas Cowboys have actually played this thing right, because the old Dallas Cowboys would have been like they were with Roy Williams. Let's give up 2 number 1s. We need that guy. That guy's going to get us over the hump. So we got to get him here, no matter what it costs. They didn't give up the number 1 for him, even though he would fit the system. And at the draft, they said, no, we're gonna hold. We'll give you a 3. Seattle didn't bite. But with that 2, we got Connor Williams. He looks to be the real deal. With that 3, we got Michael Gallup. Again, not bad looking so far. Don't know till we get the pads on and playing in games. But thus far, yeah, glad we got those guys. But now, the Cowboys are actually at an advantage. The Cowboys can sit around and wait. The Seahawks now have a problem to deal with. He wants to get paid. They ain't paying him. He's disgruntled. If he does happen to come back after a prolonged holdout, he ain't going to be happy about being there. Sometime between now and training camp, I think we're going to see Earl Thomas as a Cowboy. And the reason why it works is you have a new back-end coach, Chris Richard. You have young guys that are out there. It takes time to learn a new system and a new terminology and things like that. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. Who better than the field general, Earl Thomas, who knows the system like the back of his hand. With that, we're going to leave it right there unless we get some more news on that situation. But go to Mike Fisher. Mike Fisher has a great article about the whole timeline and everything else. And he's, him and I, with Earl Thomas, he threw me under the bus when I talked about the Cowboys were negotiating with Seattle. And he said there was nothing to my article. That's where I became the clickbaiter in chief. But Mike Fisher's good people. But check out some of his reads on it, and he'll give you more information than probably I can about it as well. But also, we got Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott, he likes to eat. Zeke Elliott, I think he might have to start doing 2 hands eating. Because he looks at last year and says, I didn't accomplish anything. Nothing. I kind of beg to differ. I'll at least say you got the NFL finally off your back. You finally got this whole situation gone, done, and over with. I wish beginning of the season we had just taken the suspension and said goodbye. I know everybody says you got to fight for your name and everything else, but it didn't change anybody's opinion if Zeke was guilty or not guilty. Either you thought he was or you thought he wasn't. The suspension didn't change that. Didn't. Because either if you thought he was guilty before he finally sat out, you still thought he was guilty. If you thought he was innocent before he sat out, you still thought he was innocent. The only thing that was different is, when was the suspension going to happen? Because you don't win against the NFL in suspensions. They're going to get theirs. Regardless of what the law says, they going to get there. If they can suspend Tom Brady, the most decorated quarterback in NFL history, they certainly can get Zeke Elliott. Had we had that out of the way in the beginning of the season, especially since he kind of started out slow out the gate, got that distraction out of there, maybe we could have made a nice run towards the end. But be that as it may, it's done and over. So I will say we accomplished something. But Zeke Elliott is hungry. Zeke Elliott is ready to make a difference for the Dallas Cowboys. And when you look at it, he's had actually extra time for that body to be in shape. Because, you know, the offseason is pretty short. You get from the end of the season to OTAs, you know, about 6 weeks in there. Other than that, you are football out. Well, Zeke Elliott only got 10 games on him, and all those, basically except for 2, were in the first half. And he certainly didn't get overused against Seattle. So he wasn't battered and bruised going into the offseason. His body physically, it's been the longest break that he's had in probably since he played Little League. So his body's in shape. His mind is now clear from the NFL suspension, the Boobygate, TMZ following, all that stuff is now gone. So now he can focus in on one thing, and that's being the best player he can be on the field. No distractions. No talking to attorneys. No court appearances. No talking to the NFL and dealing with that. No questions from the press about suspensions. We're not talking about football and focusing and going into camp with a clear head and a desire to go ahead and say, I'm going to be the best on the field. And guys, I just say, watch out. With that offensive line, Lyle Collins playing tackle 2 years now in a row, same position. Getting a Connor Williams, who looks to be a little bit nasty. You get Zach Martin happy with his money. You got Travis Frederick in there. And you have a Tyron Smith who looks like he's tightened up that tight body a little bit more and looks to be in great shape. With a motivated Zeke Elliott behind, I'm going to drink some coffee for Kumar here. It will be ground and pound. And once we do that, you will see the 2016 Dak Prescott. And I know everybody's going to say, well, he can only win with the running game. But the reality is, most teams do win when they have a running game. We'll be able to play action people to death, get him rolling out, get a little creative, start using run-pass options, use a little bit of his legs. Not too much. Not too much. We don't want to get him killed. But we want to keep the defenses guessing. And we start, instead of focusing in on passing to just one guy, start getting Cole Beasley involved in the slot. Get him back to 2016. You start using some of your new tools, your Alan Hearns, your Michael Gallups. Toss in a little Noah Brown. Oh, can't forget. Really try and confuse them and take Trayvon Austin, put him in the backfield, motion him out. You've got all kinds of options. And the biggest thing about all of this is you can kill the clock because the clock keeps ticking. I'm excited about this season. I know a lot of the talking heads have doom and gloom, and that makes me feel even better for our Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and thank you guys for watching the Joe Boo Sports Report. And I'll see you soon.